Now to the Hong Kong election reform protests. 1 million people in the region have signed a petition supporting police. More than 300 protesters have been arrested since those demonstrations began amid accusations of excessive force. Peng reports what the call of duty means during chaos.
We have around 28,000 policemen across Hong Kong. They are now working around the clock as the city's public security is at stake like never before.
Since the Occupy Central protests began more than a month ago, Hong Kong police have faced criticism from protesters for doing their job to safeguard order and security.
They're using some stick or using their shield to push us. The behavior is not well organized and is irrational.
However, in an exclusive interview with CCTV, the police gave us a different side of the story.
In many cases, we face organized confrontation from protesters, incited by a few extremists. This small handful of people not only incite violence, but some of them carry weapons and seek to assault the police.
In some of these nasty clashes, a few policemen would be facing hundreds or even thousands of protesters ready to charge against the cordon line and expand their blockades.
Even when the protesters are not violent, they use electric torches to flash the eyes of the policemen on duty. If many of them do so, police would have to either give up the cordon line or resort into using force. So we, as police negotiators, were deployed at this moment as an attempt to contain the use of force and prevent escalation of violence.
And then there are fears of reprisals.
They threaten the families of the policemen. Some children of my colleagues even received death threats. Those who disclose the information of the families of the police online are very immoral and will face prosecution.
As protests wear on, there are signs of distress taking its toll.
Over the past month, we have to go to the gathering sites of the protesters to conduct psychological counseling to the policemen. Many of the policemen are really frustrated as they've tried very hard to safeguard the city, but on the contrast, received unequal assault.
It's a challenging time for police officers in Hong Kong these days. Caught in a bitter fray between Occupy Central protesters and those in the anti-Occupy movement, they have to put their own lives at risk while trying to separate the crowds and restore public safety.
When the occupation movement continues, many interests are damaged by this occupation movement. The social conflict between those people who occupy public spaces and those people who are against them are bound to increase.
As the Occupy Central protesters continue to fight the court order and maintain their blockades, Hong Kong police are now working day and night to guarantee the public safety. Over the past few days, we have observed that the police have now put their helmets and batons down on the ground as a way to show their maximum restraint, despite the fact that the protesters may launch their next charge against the police cordon line at any moment. I'm Peng, CCTV, Hong Kong.